You know it's a bad hair day if I'm wearing a hat. Hey everyone, it's me again. And we missed out on a favorites video for last month, so this month it's gonna be really great. This is the February 2017 favorites video. So exciting. First category, beauty. I don't got anything. Second category is candles, and what I've been doing this month is, because I had so many candles in my candle drawer that I could not physically fit more candles, I basically worked on just burning off as many as I could. I didn't care if they were Christmas scented, I didn't care if they were spring scented, I didn't care if they were summer scented. So I got rid of like 8 candles, which is awesome. But I haven't really been favoring any particular ones. However, my mom and I went shopping at one point this past month, and of course, a mom and Erin shopping trip wouldn't be complete without a trip to our favorite place, Bath & Body Works. My favorite place, let's be real. And I got 3 new candles. Now, I haven't burnt any of them yet, but because I don't have a specific favorite for this month, we're just gonna talk about those ones. So I went on a springtime rampage. This one is lavender coconut, and it smells exactly as you would expect it to smell. Like lavender and coconut. It's very springy and sweet and soft and subtle and yum. This one is Eucalyptus Rain. I really love the packaging, if you can call it that, for this one. I'm not usually a eucalyptus fan, but I'm a fan of this. It smells exactly, to me it smells like the smell of walking through a garden right after a rainfall. Yep, that's a good spring smell. We get a lot of rain around here, so rain is a spring smell for me. And then I also got just a single wick candle. This one is Midnight Blue Citrus, and it smells like Soarin' Over California to me, which is weird because I have a Soarin' Over California Spireside candle. It was originally called Anthology Candles, now they're called Spireside. And it smells very strongly of oranges and sea salt and trees, and it's great. But this is much more subtle, and to me, this is what you actually smell going through it. The other one is kind of like representing the fact that you go through an orange grove and you go over this and through that and over this and that. So it smells like the things you go through, but not necessarily like Soarin' Over California as much as this does, for whatever reason. I don't know why. It smells like orange groves and ocean. So Soarin' Over California. Regardless, I love this candle and can't wait to burn it. I'm waiting till spring because that's the kind of person I am, and I hate myself for it. For clothes this month, I have this top. It's just a black sort of plaid checkered flannel. I like it. I also got this hat recently. It's pretty cool. I don't know what you can see of it. I haven't worn it very much, so I don't know if I'm gonna use it as a favorite, but I wanted to mention it anyway. I went into West 49 right before Valentine's Day, and on the window there was a sign saying free Valentine's Day t-shirt with a $20 purchase. So this shirt was my $20 purchase so that I could get this for free. It says I hate you the least, and if that ain't me. For school/art this month, I didn't do a ton of art really, but I did buy these new art pens. I haven't used them a ton, but basically they're double-ended. I have 2 different brands here. One is Prismacolor and the other is Copic Sketch, I think? Yes. Basically they have 2 different ends. One is a thin tip and the other is a thicker tip, and it's kind of like it. I don't know how to describe it, but I prefer the thicker tip. That's kind of what I bought it for. I got light blue, peachy color, and this one is like a very light yellow, very pale. And yeah, I haven't used them a ton, but I'm excited to. Books this month. I did a fair amount of reading this month because I spend a fair amount of time waiting for class to start because I had to take a much earlier shuttle. So I read a lot this month. First book I want to mention is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna read you the back. Some race to win, others race to survive. It happens at the start of every November, the Scorpio Races. Riders attempt to keep hold of their water horses long enough to make it to the finish line. Some riders live, others die. At age 19, Sean Kendrick is the returning champion. He's a young man of few words, and if he has any fears, he keeps them buried deep, where no one else can see them. Puck Connolly is different. She never meant to ride in the Scorpio Races, but fate hasn't given her much of a choice. So she enters the competition, the first girl ever to do so. She's in no way prepared for what's going to happen. It's a good book. I would read it again. Has a fantastic ending. Made me emotional. I would say 3.75 out of 5. This was a reread. This is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. It's got a beautiful cover. You may have seen the movie. I actually might have mentioned this before, and I might have said that I picked up this book in Italy on the day that my travel buddy was sick, and I didn't really have anything to do, so I went down to the book exchange at my hostel office and found this book, and so I spent the day reading it, got quite a few chapters into it, and then the next day I was gonna bring it back, but I was sad to, so I was like, is it okay if I just take this? And he was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I read this while I was in Italy, loved it, saw the movie when I got home, and recently reread it just because it's fantastic. I'll read you the back of that too. Set in South Carolina in 1964, The Secret Life of Bees tells the story of Lily Owens, whose life has been shaped around the blurred memory of the afternoon her mother was killed. When Lily's fierce-hearted black stand-in mother, Rosaline, insults 3 of the deepest racists in town, Lily decides to spring them both free. They escape to Tiburon, South Carolina, a town that holds the secrets to her mother's past. Taken in by an eccentric trio of black beekeeping sisters, Lily is introduced to their mesmerizing world of bees and honey and the Black Madonna. This is a remarkable novel about divine female power, a story that women will share and pass on to their daughters for years to come. Absolutely, I want to read this to my hypothetical daughter. Which is funny, because I don't intend on having kids. Ooh, that's controversial, whoops. And the last book I want to talk about is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. You can see there's a bookmark in it because as soon as I finished it, I picked it up again and started rereading it. It's a good book. Took me a while, but after I fell in love with it, oh yeah, good book. Really interesting to reread once you know about the plot twists. It doesn't say anything on the back, but I'll read you the inside cover. Scarlet Dregna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt-of invitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious sailor, Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caraval's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that this season's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Caraval is only an elaborate performance. Nevertheless, she becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic. And whether Caraval is real or not, Scarlet must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over, or a dangerous domino effect of consequences will be set off, and her beloved sister will disappear forever. Welcome to Caraval. Beware of getting swept too far away. I bought it because it reminded me of the Night Circus, or it looked like it would, and I would have to say, between the two, Night Circus wins. I'm rereading that now because of this. And atmospheric-wise, Night Circus is better, but actual character development and romance-wise, Caraval is better, and it definitely has that dreamlike atmosphere, and it has that magic that you really want to step into for yourself. So this is a really good book, and I would highly recommend it. I would say this is probably another 3.75 out of 5. I forgot to mention, this is a 5 out of 5. Absolutely 5 out of 5. Maybe this is closer to a 4. I don't know. I liked it more than the Scorpio Races, so. I haven't really watched any movies this month, but I've watched a fair amount of TV, so I'll talk about that. I'm still watching Supernatural. I'm on season 4. I still like it. Cass just became a thing, so that's awesome. I'm bro-TPing Dean and Ruby. Not OTP. I do not ship them. That would be weird, but I want them to become friends because they hate each other, and I want them to not hate each other and to instead be bros. Dean and Ruby are my bro TP. Just saying. Also want to mention, don't laugh, Voltron. I discovered it because a lot of people that I follow on various social media were talking a lot about this show called Voltron, and I was like, okay, what's this? And it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original show, I think. It's DreamWorks. And it's really good. It's an animated thing, but I don't care. I'm shamelessly into cartoons and animation. Love it. Basically, I don't know even how to fully properly describe it, but it's about robots in space. I don't know. It's good though. It's good. It's really funny. It's really interesting. You really get into the storyline. It's got diverse characters. Wonderful. watch it. And this isn't a TV show, but I have to mention it because I've been obsessed with it for the past 2 months. I mentioned it in my previous video that never actually aired, so I'm gonna mention it again because I'm back into it as well. A Midsummer Night's Dream by the Shakespeare's Globe Company. Okay, so numerous months ago, I was doing a project on Shakespeare's Globe, which is the remade theater in London, basically. It was about like recreations of theaters and authenticity and blah blah blah. Long story, long essay. But basically, I went onto the Shakespeare's Globe page and there was a link to watch their most recent performance, which was A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, I don't know if that's still available. It was, when I clicked it, it said it would be available for like 1 more month. It's been more than that. I don't know if it's still possible to watch it, but I've just left the window open on my computer ever since I opened it, and it's still allowing me to watch it, so I've probably cheated it a little bit, but it's fantastic. Basically, they redid A Midsummer Night's Dream in a Bollywood style kind of thing, and it's wonderful because it's still using Shakespearean language and dialogue, and I was thinking, man, how on earth, a couple lines in, they're speaking Shakespearean, I'm like, how on earth am I going to enjoy this? Oh man, I enjoyed it. It gave me a new appreciation for Shakespearean, because up till then I'd only ever read it. I hadn't actually listened to Shakespearean, which is a shame, because it's meant to be heard, not meant to just be seen on a page. But reading Shakespearean, it's dull. I'm sorry, it's dull. Sue me. Listening to Shakespearean is dull until it's done well, and this is done very, very well, and it made me understand what Shakespeare is saying, for one thing, because I'm seeing the context and I'm not, like, my eyes aren't glazing over as I read it, and I'm actually understanding what they're saying through all of these metaphors and analogies, and they're talking about Diana's sweet beams, and I'm like, oh, moonlight. Okay, it helps that I know things about mythology, but it's still so good, and if you can watch it, definitely watch it. The way that I got to watch it was, if you go to the Shakespeare's Globe website, which all you have to do is just type in Shakespeare's Globe on Google, it'll come up. There was, don't know if there still is, a link to watch a live stream of it. So if you can, please watch it. If you can't, sorry. It's good, you missed out. And if you're one of my close friends, come over, we'll watch it together. I actually just got the book, Midsummer Night's Dream, today, because that's the book we're reading next for my English drama class, which was actually suggested by me because I'm so into it right now. He was like, we need to read Shakespeare, which one? And I was like, Midsummer Night's Dream. He was like, okay. So now we're gonna read that, and it's funny because I was just skimming through it and I was like, this is exactly what they say on stage. And I mean, obviously it should be, that makes perfect sense. But suddenly I'm interested in what they're saying here, and I understand what they're saying, rather than just thinking, what the heck is Shakespeare trying to get at here? So I'm definitely going to read it while I watch. This also means that now I know the words to the songs, so I can sing along. Yes, they sing. It's a musical now. I need to wrap this up. Music. This month I've been listening to a fair amount of Switchfoot, just because I've gotten into it again, and some of their new stuff is really great. I would highly recommend Holy Water and Float. They actually play some of those songs where I work, which is funny because it's Christian rock, but it's actually not overly obvious, and it's not what you'd expect of Christian rock, so it's played in a lot of secular circumstances. That's not the word I was looking for. Contexts, that's the word I was looking for. Also this month, my dad took my mom and I to a record store a couple towns over, and I got my first very own record that I bought with my own money, and it was Fall Out Boy. The album was American Beauty, American Psycho. Good record. I think I like every single song on there. I only knew a few Fall Out Boy songs until this, and now I know much more, and I like them. For YouTubers this month, I haven't actually been watching a ton of YouTube. However, I mentioned this in the video that never went up, so I'm gonna mention it again just because they need to be mentioned. Practical folks. Watch with discretion. They do a series called Drunk Disney, and if any of you thought I was like a pure innocent little bean, sorry to disappoint. Basically, it's 3 20-somethings with usually a guest 20-something who play drinking games while they watch Disney movies, and they get drunk, and it's really funny. My favorite thing is when they start like coming up with their own versions of songs or singing the song with tons of gusto, and they're showing the footage of the movie, but we're hearing them over it instead of the actual audio, and it's really funny. It might ruin Disney a little bit for you though, so again, watch with discretion. It's also somewhat mature content occasionally, so don't say I didn't warn you. Don't watch this with your kids. And for experiences this month, I got to see Moana in the theater 3 times. One of those times was in January, actually, but the second 2 times were in February, and it's wonderful every time. I would go and I would get a bag of mini cinnamon sugar donuts before going in, and it was like watching a Disney movie at Disneyland because it was like having super soft churros. And I went to see it with a friend of mine, and then with my brother, and then with a different friend of mine, and they all thought it was really great. Lin-Manuel Miranda's in it, the music is fantastic, it's just visually spectacular, and I need it on DVD. And the main thing that happened this month was actually right at the beginning of the month, so I barely count it as happening in February, but I got to go to a concert. I went to a Switchfoot concert. It was my second concert ever. It was my brother's first concert ever. We went with some friends from church, and it was wonderful. And obviously that is why I am so into Switchfoot this month. Also, that is why I made a cover of Dare You to Move, I think the very next day. That was a couple videos back. Go give it some love. I'm kind of proud of it. So anyway, that's it for this video. I've been filming for far too long. You've probably been watching for far too long. I have to read Shakespeare. Oh no, what a terrible burden. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week, hopefully. Bye!